it's Rosemary Manners here, Australia's leading natural and traditional pharmacist. And this is my show, this is my health show, and it's called Health Cheat Sheets. And it's on every Wednesday at 12 o'clock, and every Wednesday at 12 o'clock I've got some cheat where you can get a little bit healthier without sort of too much effort or too much sort of time swatting over notes to know what to do. So today, with our sort of theme of immunity for this month, I'm going to show you how to make rocket fuel for your immune system just out of the ingredients that might be in your pantry. So it happened to me yesterday. My son came back from uni. He says, "Oh, I don't feel so good, Mum. What have you got for me?" So I looked in the cupboard, and even though I own a pharmacy and I've got lots of herbal cabinet, they're down at Mossman. So I didn't really have so much in my medical cupboard, but then I looked in the pantry and I realised I have lots of immunity, lots of great immune ingredients in the cupboard. So what we're going to make today is we're going to make what I made for him yesterday, some rocket fuel for his immune system. So have a think what's in your cupboard. I'll show you what I found. So I went and had a look and I found some garlic. So here in this recipe, everybody's seen garlic before, I'm just going to use 1 clove of garlic. So that's my little clove. So before I start, I'll show you what I'm making it in. I'm making it in like a simple teapot. It's got a centerpiece where you can put tea in it. And it's also got the outside where I'm going to put the herbs and spices in the outside. Quite often when I've got a stove, like I'm teaching you from my office, but quite often when I've got a stove, I might put it all into a saucepan and just boil it up for a minute. You can do that just as easily. But I'm just doing a demo to make it easy and simple in my little Bodum teapot. Okay, so this is my little teapot. And I was showing you the garlic. I don't know what I've done with it now. Here's my garlic. So I'm going to just put my garlic, not the one, I just bought one out so that I could show you what garlic looked like. So I've just chopped up one little garlic in there and I'm just going to pop it in. Actually, I might just put it into the bottom of the teapot here so it can swirl around in the bottom. Okay, so that's my garlic. My next ingredient is Manuka honey. So Manuka honey is a really interesting, it's like an antibiotic all by itself. And if you look at the packets now, it's got like this antibacterial effect, and they're all tested now, and the number on it tells you how much antibiotic effect that it has. And obviously it goes up in price. You can get them 25 plus, I've seen 55 plus, and they're really quite expensive. But we really just using them to put on infected wounds and using an antibiotic topically on leg ulcers and things like that. But it's for if it's for your immune system, 5, 10, it's all fine. So there's your little honey. So I'm going to put a bit of that. I'm not going to put a huge amount, but I just put a tablespoon. So I just put a tablespoon in the bottom of my teapot there. So that's my Manuka honey. My next ingredient is I do make a decongester tea. And so what's in the decongester tea is lemongrass, ginger root and peppermint, and that will boost my tea along. If you don't have it at home, don't worry, you might have some lemongrass in the fridge, pop that in too. So I'm just going to put a tablespoon, there we go, I'm just opening the packet, I'm just going to put a tablespoon in my teapot. Okay, so far in my tea, I've got some Manuka honey in the bottom, I've got a little bit of garlic, and I've got some lemongrass, peppermint, and a ginger in there. So with that ginger, so you probably know what ginger looks like. I buy it by the kilo. It's got so many medicinal effects. It's a circulatory stimulant. It's an antibiotic. It helps with inflammation. I buy it by the kilo from the organic markets. You can make teas out of it. You can put it in the food. I throw it in the desserts. There's so much you can do with ginger. And it's one of my really sort of favourite things to have at home. So what I've done here is I've peeled a bit of it and just chopped it up. And it can be fairly big chunks. It doesn't need to be sort of finely grated. I just do it whatever is the quickest. So I've got my little bit of ginger. I've probably got about the size of my thumb, the top part of my thumb. I've just probably chopped that here. And I'm just going to put that back into my teapot. I'm going to put that in the bottom. So as I say, if you're short on one of the ingredients, don't worry. Okay, so we've got the garlic, we've got the ginger, we've got the manuka honey in there. My next ingredient is turmeric. So I don't know whether you've seen turmeric. It looks a bit like ginger. This is a bit of a scrappy demo for you. It can be sometimes a little bit smoother and it can actually look like ginger. Again, I buy this by the kilo. It's the most amazing food. There's like 4,700 studies of how amazing turmeric is and how it can help your body. They're using it as adjunct to a lot of medical things. It's been drug tested against non-steroidal inflammatories and found that its inflammation is equal to that without the side effects. You can buy it as a coffee, you can buy it as a tea, you can buy it in all sorts of food. We sell it by the liquid in the shop, we sell it by the tablets in the shop. But I love putting it in my food. So it's got this really anti-inflammatory effect. It's got a lovely flavour as well. So what I've done is I've peeled a bit of the turmeric and I've just cut it up again, a bit like the ginger. I've just cut it up into little pieces. I don't know whether you can see if I can show you it like that. And I'm just going to add that to the teapot. You'll notice when you make the tea, it'll make it into a really yellow colour. If you're coming down with something that's happening with your immune system, or if you have recurrent pain and inflammation, turmeric's a fantastic thing to use all the time and to incorporate it in your food for medicine every day. But here we are, we're making a rocket fuel, we're creating a rocket fuel for our immune system. So turmeric's a great anti-inflammatory to put in to fuel my immune system. Okay, so we've got my turmeric in there. So we've got ginger, garlic, turmeric, and I've got a bit of my manuka honey in there. And I've got a bit of my tea in the centre, which has got lemongrass, peppermint, and a little bit more ginger root in there. Okay, so what else have I found? I've had another little look in the cupboard and see what else I can find. I found some cloves, so here we go. These are little cloves. You probably got them in the cupboard from when you make glühwein in winter. Smell beautiful. So I've got about 6 cloves there. So I'm just popping that into the bottom bit of my teapot there. What else have I found? I didn't have any cinnamon scrolls, but I often do. If I have cinnamon scrolls, I put them in here. I actually milled mine the other day. So it's a powder form. So I'm just going to put a little bit of the powder, probably about half a teaspoon. I'm just going to put in the bottom here. And that has a great circulatory stimulant. It's antibacterial. Cinnamon's really good for sugars too. So if you have sort of sugar irregularities, cinnamon's a great thing to help with that and getting your insulin levels at the right level. It's a great food for medicine. But as far as the immune system is, yes, it's anti-inflammatory and it's antibiotic. So that's one of my things that I love putting in. Okay, so we've got cinnamon. What else do I need? Oh, how brave are you? You're going to put a little bit of chili in. Chili's a great antibiotic. I wouldn't go too crazy about chili. I've got miles, I don't know if you can see here, but I've got miles too much in here. It's a bit of dried chili that I've grated on, I've broken up, I've milled on a head. So I'm just going to put just a little pinch in there because I don't want to make it too chili. But it's a great thing to activate my whole tea. Now, it's real rocket fuel, so don't go too crazy about the chili, but it is a great activator. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the manuka honey in, we've got the grated ginger, we've got the turmeric, we've got some cinnamon in, we've got the decongested tea, I've got some cloves, I've got some garlic in, I've got some chili. What have I missed? The most important ingredient of all, lemons. So it's great getting lemons. I've just cut my little lemons into half. So lemons are amazing, full of vitamin C. We know they activate the white blood cells. We know they really kick ass in our immune system because they're really packed full of vitamin C. Kiwi fruit's another thing that's full of vitamin C. So I think lemons are really great to have around at this time of the year just to get our immune system. They're all in season. Again, I usually buy a case of lemons around about this time of the year because it's really good to sort of start putting lemons into what you're cooking and start really sort of getting that immune system working as well as it possibly can. So you can see I've squeezed in. I've actually got 2 lemons here, so as I'm talking to you, I'm just squeezing it into my tea. So it's looking pretty good. Smells very good, I can tell. I wish you could smell it over there because it smells fantastic. And I think you'd really enjoy the smell as well as you can see what I'm doing. So I've got 2 more lemons, so I'm just grating a bit, squeezing those little lemons in there. I don't worry about the pips. If pips go in, that's fine. The tea, when I pour the tea out, they'll get taken out in that. Okay, so just one last lemon. So I'm just squeezing that last bit of lemon in. Got quite a cocktail now, haven't I? My rocket fuel for my immune system, it's getting there. I think this is the last of the ingredients. So if you're looking for the recipe and you can't remember all the ingredients, you'll find it on my website. If you go to the Rosemary Manners website under recipes, it's at the top of the list. So rocket fuel for your immune system. I've got my Manuka honey in there. You can see it all sitting down the bottom there. I've got my Manuka honey, I've got my ginger, I've got my turmeric, I've got my lemon in now. I've got some cinnamon, some garlic, some cloves, my decongested tea, and I've just got a little activated bit with the chili. So you can see I'm just swirling it around just to mix it a little bit. So that's all ready to go. Okay, so in the background, I boiled a kettle. So as I've said, you could easily do this on the stove. You can just put it into a saucepan on the stove. I'm just using a teapot because it's easy. It's much easier to demo when you have from a teapot. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to pour boiling water in. So this is just boiled, and so in it goes. So when I'm using drink as a medicine, gosh, this smells great. When I'm using drink as a medicine, I like it to let it sit. So I usually say 8 minutes because that means that out of your herbs, out of your spices, out of the plants or the flowers or whatever you're using into this rocket fuel, it has a chance for the medicinal ingredient. Look here, doesn't it look great? And it smells great too. So leaving it for 8 minutes gives a chance for the medicinal ingredients to actually come out of the plants and into the water, because that's what we're going to drink. We're going to drink water. So I'm going to put my tea in the centre there. So that all goes in. Hopefully I haven't put in too much water. Where's my top? I'm going to put my top on. So it's all prepared. It's all there. Smells fantastic. And what I'm going to do, I'm just leaving it for 8 minutes before we drink it. So we know in here for my ingredients, and these are just simple ingredients that you'll find in your own pantry. And if you don't have an ingredient, don't worry. Just keep on going ahead, because every ingredient I've put in has a medicinal effect. So you might not get the synergy of all the ingredients, but you will get a medicinal effect from the ingredients you have. You might not like a particular ingredient, just fine, just leave it out, but I love all these. These are all my favourite things. I love turmeric, and turmeric in a tea is just my idea of heaven. I'm a bit cautious with chili, but you might find some of you like really spicing it up and put a bit of extra chili and put a little bit of extra cloves to make it really rich and spicy. It's all fine. It's all going to be fantastic. They've all got great ingredients. They've all got a therapeutic effect that you'll really benefit from. So I love this. This is a great cheat for today. And you can see it's just looking absolutely amazing. It smells fantastic. So after my 8 minutes, I'm just going to leave it for 8 minutes. I'm just going to go and get a cup so that you can see what it looks like when I pour it out. So I've got a glass. I've got a little glass here so that you can see what it looks like when I pour it out. Oh, wait a minute. Hold it up so that you can see it. Wow, doesn't that look beautiful? You can see the turmeric. Look at the turmeric. Look how yellow it is. Ah, it smells beautiful. It smells really spicy. Shall I give it a taste? Shall I see what it tastes like? Oh, yum. That's so good. Oh, hi, Jen. Jen's just asking what type of honey did you say I was using? Jen lives in Canada, so I don't know. Do you have Manuka honey in Canada? Here when it's used medicinally, we have what's called Manuka honey. And it comes from a manuka tree, which is a sort of tea tree, but it has a great antibiotic effect. And the scientists now are actually looking at the manuka and they're grading the manuka of how much antibiotic effect. So when we buy it in the shop here, it will say how much antibiotic effect that you have. So it will say 5 plus or 10 plus on the actual bottle, and so you'll know what you're paying for and you'll know how much of an antibiotic effect it has, and it's great to keep in the cupboard. So I don't know whether you have that in Canada. You can have a look, or I can always send some over if you'd like me to, but you might find that you can find some manuka honey over there too, because a lot of things that are available here are available over there. But it's like a medi honey, it's like a medicinal honey. You can use your everyday honey. The less processed the better, because it'll have much more vitamins if it hasn't been processed as much. So I much prefer, if I haven't okay. Oh, here we are. We're back again. So if I don't have a honey, I just buy as raw honey as I can, so that I know it's got all its vitamins in, and it'll have most of the antibiotic effect, rather than something that's been processed. So I sometimes buy it at the farm or at the markets, or come down from the from an organic sort of sense. Manuka. Maybe I'll put it in the comments how you spell it, so that you can have a look at it. So besides Jen and the manuka honey, I think most of those other ingredients you'll find in your cupboard, and then you'll be able to make rocket fuel just like me. So I have to tell you the end of the story. My son, I gave him some flu fighter tea. He had the rocket fuel. By dinner time, he's really pepped up. But after dinner, he was crashing through his maths, because he's got a maths exam today, and he went off today feeling on top of the world. So what a great story. Like, he came home, we didn't have anything specially that we'd sort of bought pharmaceutically or herbally, but we went into the cupboard, we found the medicinal ingredients, and we made this absolutely amazing rocket fuel, flu fighter tea I call it, or rocket fuel for your immune system, that you too can make in your house. And anybody can drink it. You know, granny who's 99, the kids, your kids that are toddlers, just obviously don't let it be too hot if the kids are young, but like, it tastes really fantastic, especially with that little bit of honey in it. It smells so beautiful that some of the kids will love it. And the other thing I used to do with my kids are a little bit big for it now, but I used to then make the tea, and I used to freeze it into ice blocks. So rather than sort of using sort of like soft drinks or cordials, I used to try and make these ice blocks that were medicinal as possible. And like, this tastes really yummy. And so I used to freeze it into ice blocks. So sort of when the kids are sort of coming in and looking for a snack, I'm always sort of trying to give them sort of drink for medicine, or food for medicine, or something that's really going to help them along the way. So, oh, hi Ashley. It's my little niece has just joined. Or not so little anymore. Anyway, I hope I've given you some great insight on what to look for in your cupboard, how to easily, like, how long did that really take me? I've been doing a lot of talking, but it really only took me about 5 minutes to make, 8 minutes to sit. So at the end of 12 minutes, you can have your own medicine all ready for you, all ready for your immune system. So maybe next week when you're out shopping, maybe sort of make sure you've got a few of the ingredients in the cupboard ready for winter. So that you're ready for when the winter comes. So I've got one more thing to tell you before I leave you to your day, but I do have some exciting news. So I've been busily beavering away, because I know it's time for this immune system onslaught. I know our immune systems are going to be put to the test. And you remember last week I spoke about the 7 ways of boosting your immune system. Well, I've written an ebook in between. So there's a little ebook. The connection will go up later onto my website, so that you can start making your plan, start making your immune plan. So you've got all the ingredients, so that you don't need to be sick during winter. Because if you want to live the life, the version of your life that you really want to live, it doesn't include sitting around half of winter being cold or having a flu. It means getting out there, getting prepared, having an immune plan. So I put together this ebook. It's called Bulletproof Immunity in 7 Steps. So I'd like to invite you to give it a bit of a read. You'll see the link. I'll put it on Facebook as well, but you'll see the link up towards the end of the day. I'll publish it towards the end of the day so that you've got more ammunition, some more ideas how your immune system can be as bulletproof as possible so that you can fly through winter. And you might have to wear a jacket because it might be getting a bit cold, but you won't spend winter in bed or sick, and then you've got much more time to do the things that you love, the things that you're passionate about, the things that turn on your buttons rather than sitting around sick. So I think that's to me what health is all about, is having more time to do the things I love. So thank you for joining me, my health cheat sheets today. This is a health program. It's on every 12 o'clock on a Wednesday on my Facebook channel. It's called Health Cheat Sheets. Every Wednesday I come out with a new idea of how to cheat your health and get a little bit healthier without too much trouble. Today we made rocket fuel for the immune system, and I hope you really love that. If you have any questions, I'm really keen for you to ask me questions on Facebook, on my website. There's messages all over the place, so I'm really easy to see, and it's really easy to see. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in this week, and I hope you enjoy your rocket fuel. Bye.